Welcome back to Remote Sensing Applications using ArcGIS. In this session, what we're going to do is topographic sharpening of a MODIS image. And what you're going to do is create a PDF of Denali National Park and use the hillshade from your last video session to enhance the image that's inside the boundary of Denali National Park, and then basically export this into a PDF in ArcMap. Okay, so we'll start with the same two layers from our last session. We have the boundary of Denali National Park and our clipped hillshade raster. Okay, so the first step is we'll adjust the contrast of our hillshade. So if you go to Symbology, Standard Deviations, we'll do a 1 standard deviation contrast stretch. So basically, if a pixel is within 1 standard deviation of the mean, it'll be some stretch in a grayscale. And that just enhances the contrast of our hillshade. Okay, so we're going to be working in a layout mode rather than the data view. So down at the bottom of your ArcMap, there's a toggle that goes from layout view to data view, or you can go to the view menu and choose layout view. So here we have our page. And what we want to do is we want to put a graticule within this data frame representing longitude and latitude. So to do that, if you right mouse click on layers and go to the properties for your data frame, and then we want a new grid, and then we're going to have our grid is going to be a graticule, which is divide the map by longitude and latitude. And then we'll place every 1 degree, we'll place a line. And then we'll only do it for major divisions. And our text size will be, let's make it 12 point, bold, italic, and then OK, and then next, and next, finish. And we'll see what we have. Okay, so we can zoom in using the layout toolbar. So this is our tools toolbar. Here's our layout toolbar. So let's zoom in and see our graticule. So right now it's showing us degrees, minutes, seconds. So we'll change that so it just shows us the degrees. So if we go back to our grid and go to properties, and then we'll go to labels and then additional properties. Don't show minutes and don't show seconds. So we'll uncheck those. So now we've got this graticule and it's showing us every degree. Let's see here. So I need to use the pan tool from my layout. So it's basically showing us every degree. Okay, so from my layout toolbar, zoom to the whole page. Okay, so now we've got a graticule. What we want to do now is we'll add an image that's a MODIS image from Alaska, and that's in your Alaska MODIS 17 June 2013.tif. So that's in the data for this week. And then we'll turn on that MODIS image. So there's our MODIS image, and what we want to do is we'll adjust the contrast for this MODIS image. So if you go to Symbology, let's make it a standard deviation and 1 standard deviation. So once again, if the pixel's within 1 standard deviation of the mean, it'll get stretched, and then just OK. So now we've got our MODIS image. And then what we want to do is we'll adjust the transparency of this MODIS image so we can see some of the hillshade underneath the MODIS image. So to do that, if you go to Properties and Symbology Display tab, and we'll adjust the transparency. Let's try 30% transparent and then click Apply. So with 30% transparent, we have our hillshade inside Denali National Park boundary, so we see that hillshade underneath it. And then outside, it's 30% transparent with nothing underneath, so it's sort of a faded look. So let's say we're satisfied with that 30% transparent. And then the final step will be to add a title. So we could go to the Insert menu, so insert a title. And then we'll insert our title, Denali National Park. So there's our title. We can move it wherever we want to put it, and we could adjust the properties. So we'll change the symbol to bold 36-point font, and then we'll put a white halo around each character. So if we go to Edit Symbol and then Mask, put a halo around each character, and that's going to be a white halo. And then let's give a character spacing of, let's do every 12 characters. That will be our character spacing. So then we get that title. Okay, and then the final thing we'll put in a scale bar. So that would be Insert Scale Bar. And we'll pick this scale bar. And then we'll go to Properties. So scale and units, let's give it no subdivisions and 1 division. And then when resizing, adjust the width. Scale will be in kilometers, and we'll have our scale bar be 100 kilometers. And then the symbol, let's make it bold, and we'll also give it a white halo around the text. So Edit Symbol, Mask, Halo, Size 1. So something like that. And OK. And then for numbers and marks, we'll do frequency only at the ends of our scale bar. And then the number format is fine. And our format, so for our bar, we'll make it a white color. So our fill will be white, and the outline width will be a 2. And then just OK. And OK. So that creates our scale bar, so we can move that down here. And right mouse click, zoom to selected element to zoom to that scale bar. Okay, so it's in kilometers, and we need the 0 and the 100 to look a little clearer. So if we right mouse click and go to properties, so let's make units and numbers symbol. Let's make it a 12-point, bold. And then once again, we'll give it a white halo. So under mask, halo, and give it a 1. And then the final thing is, let's put kilometers underneath the bar. So we'll label that kilometers and put it below center. And then just OK. So now we've got our scale bar. It goes from 0 to 100, and kilometers is down at the bottom. And if we go to our layout, we could zoom in on this even more. So basically, that's what our scale bar is going to look like. And then we go to our layout and zoom to whole page. So once you're happy with how this page looks, then the final step would be File, Export your map, and export your map as a PDF file. And here I've already exported it as Denali National Park.pdf. Okay, so that's how you can use a hillshade to enhance any image, basically using the hillshade in the background and have your image being semi-transparent. So if you go to the Blackboard website, there's a quiz question there, that will lead you to the next video session after you successfully answer that quiz question.